Well, of course, last time you seen us, we mounted the old desktop down. Pretty much tied her on in to the existing desktop there with the two original bolt holes going through the brackets. Last time when I left, we had a gap down the bottom there. Well, of course, I got doing some figuring and I figured out how to tie it all in. So I came back later and got her all done. So of course, with a little bit of clamps overnight, some adhesive and a couple of screws, she is good and secure now. We put little strips underneath for the trim to give extra support to. In the perfect world, that would be one continuous piece all the way along, but I don't have a scrap piece without wrecking a full sheet of plywood, and I don't really want to do that as of yet. And of course, this strip right here, we put on to give the trim secure on this desktop area here, being that's where the most activity is going to be. So of course I went along and I sanded all the spots here today where we did the filler. I left the desktop itself a little bit on the rougher side because the adhesive will stick better if it's rougher. So basically we're about to clean this, wipe her all down, clean her up good, make sure there's no loose debris on it that'll interfere with the glue we're going to use. And then we'll take our desktop material we have and lay her up on there, cut her to fit, and then I guess we could start the gluing down process. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll give this a wipe down and then away we go. Okay guys, so here we go. No, it is not glued in place yet. I saved that part here to show you guys. Pretty much what I did is I took the covering here, rolled her on out, got about the rough fitment of where I want it to be, took my measurements, give or take a millimeter or an inch or so, and then I cut about a piece of where I figured she should be, and then give her another rough fitment, rough measurement too, and then give her a final trim. Of course, as you see here, she is overhanging a tad, but what I'm going to do is glue it down first and then give it a trim, and then that'll create the straight edge, because sometimes, of course, this cut should be darn near perfect, but sometimes the front is a little bit off cut, so you don't want to get a bad cut, right? Because that's going to be the frontal edge is going to be what you see. So when I did the other desktop, I put glue on the whole thing, and I found that by the time I got to this end, this glue here was already dry. So this time around, what I'm going to do is glue half of it, slop it down, fold that half back until I find semi-fresh glue again, and then glue that half down. So basically, guys, we'll get our adhesive, and then we'll get ourselves set up on the old tripod, and then yeah, here comes the fun part. Got our can open, we got our instructions all read, remember how to apply it now. Of course, got ourselves one of these wonderful cheap foam brushes, so hopefully it'll hold up for this task. Not too worried about getting any adhesive on the back wall, because the backer board to go up there, so that's not really matters. But basically it says to put glue on the desktop surface as well as glue on the second surface as well. Let it dry for about 15 minutes or so ish until it's kind of tacky-ish, and then put her on together. So basically, guys, here we are on the tripod ready to apply it. I'll throw you on some arcane fire and ice, and yeah, happy gluing. So of course we got the adhesive here on the plywood part. I'm now going to apply it here on the other half of the desktop material. And like I said, let her flash for about 15 minutes and then roll her back on. So rather than bore you with another 5 minutes of me huffing contact cement, I'll just do her, and then when it comes time to roll her back together, then we'll see each other again. Okay guys, so here we go. I guess you could say this is moment of truth time. Time to fold back the top here and see if we can get her lined up for the first half. Okay, so she looks like she's lining up acceptable. So what we'll do now is we'll kind of run over it here with our hands, trying to smooth out any wrinkles, any bumps, any bubbles, anything like that. Of course, this thing's going to adhere down, and yeah, if you got a bubble like this in here, that's basically going to, it's an air pocket, and that'll keep it from adhering down. And then you'll have a loose spot in your flooring or your top of your desk, which will drive you crazy every time you're at it. Now, of course, if you were doing a large area like a kitchen floor or so, they do make a roller that you can roll. It's like a 80-pound or 120-pound roller or something. They do make them in larger sizes as well. And it basically does the same thing as we're doing right here with our hands, because this is a small area and I'm too cheap to rent a tool like that for this job. Okay guys, so the first half is adhered down satisfactory. Now of course, to save you the repeat process of what I just did and what you just kind of basically watched, I'm just going to do the second half and glue it on down. And then when that's glued down, I'm pretty much going to do the touch-up on this corner here that I pulled up to get those bolts in. And then after that, she's all dry, then basically I'll come back and we'll cut this leading edge of the countertop material back. Then basically she is trimming time. Got the countertop material all glued down. Pretty much she is good to go. This would make really good flooring in like a kitchen or something like that. It's kind of a neat gray type of brown, sort of looks like slate, I guess, if you will. But it's kind of neat. It sort of does match the other stuff, but really not quite. But I probably could have bought a bigger piece and done the rest, but I didn't want to go through all the hassle and headache of ripping and chipping this stuff up and making a huge bigger mess. So it kind of does tie in. It doesn't quite fit perfectly in terms of matching, but hey, it's the way it is, right? But we'll go back over this, pretty much just running your hand, make sure she's gluing down the way she's supposed to, and she feels good so far. There is no bubbling, no lifting, no issues. It actually feels like the surface was like almost 100% clean. And we got lucky there. I even glued this one here and got it to stick down. It's going to be about as good as it's going to get, given because it was pulled up once or twice before. So now I'll throw you on the old tripod. We'll run ourselves a blade down this edge and trim off that first 3 inches or so. And then yeah, we're good to go for the trim-ins. I'm sure again for those professional installers out there, there's some fancy tool to basically do the job that we're about to do. But for me, what I find works is just your simple knife, and you run her along, kind of using the face of the wood as a template. And then once you've got that cut, then what I do is I go back over it again and kind of give it a final trim, a fine trim, once I got the coarse trim out of the way. And then you're pretty much good there. So we'll get that done, guys, and pretty much we're good to roll. Well guys, here we are. The contact cement, of course, is all semi-dry now. All the countertop material, of course, is all up, including that edge right there. I've started cutting the trim pieces. I've cut the little short one for right there, and the little 23-inch one for right there. However, I've run into a bit of a snag. When I set this up, I set up the gap right here to work in such a way to fit these moldings. Well, however, since I put on the countertop material, that's taking up whatever that is, a 1/16 of an inch or something, and it's just enough to keep this molding to be raised above the surface of the desktop. So what I'm going to have to do, of course, is taking this to the old table saw and taking just a width or so of a saw blade off, or whatever that is, a 1/8 or a 1/16 or something, and then she should fit correctly. Then we can continue on with the project here. I got the old air compressor all aired up, ready to roll. I got the nailer all full of nails, ready to go. And pretty much all I got to do is get this piece here in place. Then we can basically start building from there. This piece here that runs all the way along this edge, I'm just going to reuse the original hardware because, well, there's nothing wrong with the molding I took off it, other than a few nail holes that I have to fill anyway. And of course this new extension here piece, I have to get a brand new piece for, which I picked up the other day on the trip out to the hardware store, so we're good for that. And that little short piece there, I'm just going to recycle what was once this piece here on that original part of the desk that I broke when I took off. So I might actually be able to return possibly 2 feet of this to the hardware store, so that'd be pretty sweet. So guys, going to go run this through the table saw. I'm going to take you with me because there's not much to see in the dark when you're cutting. And if I haven't lost a finger by the time I'm done, then we'll continue on. Okay guys, so here we go. I ran that through the old saw blade, shaved her down about a width or so, and now she's good to go. So of course, using our wonderful level we got as a guide, we're going to mount this onto the desktop. I want it to rest just pretty much flush or so with the surface of the desktop material. Then that way when I could run a bead of silicone along it just like I did before, and it should be reasonably good. So of course, taking our little nailer here, making sure she's level with the backboard here. Then pretty much when you got her good about where you want her, put yourself a nail in her. We'll do the same here on the frontal edge. Get her all lined up, all good to go on that. Pretty much the same routine there. Then we'll add ourselves another nail in there. If you're unsure, of course, double check because, double checking never hurt anything. And of course, we'll throw a few more nails along the edge of her. Pretty much going the same concept here. You want her to be, flush with the edge here, so we can throw a few nails in her. So of course, once you got enough nails in here, now it's time to work on this guy here, which goes right along this this edge. So basically the same routine there. We'll line her all up, shoot a few nails in her, and then she's good. Of course, right here, sometimes you gotta require a little bit of sanding just to round that corner, because if you're working on here, you might catch your skin on her. But that's what sandpaper for, and a little bit of putty, you can get that corner back into shape. One thing I noticed here on the back edge is I have our backer board to go, of course, on the new desktop. We have the old existing backer board right here, as well as the molding we just put on, which is going to interfere with that. Now there's two ways to deal with this. I can notch the board that I put on and basically notch it to fit around this one coming back up and into here, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Or I could do the hard way, taking my Dremel and cutting straight down here, as well as cutting straight up here, trying to hope to get it into a straight line for it to fall into place. What I'm probably going to end up doing is taking the semi-easy way out with a little bit of figuring, a little bit of measuring, and just notching to fit this notch here when the time comes. So of course now guys, once we got that little board there on, we can start working on the big one here. Basically it goes on the same way as I showed you with the other two. We'll get her going, get her done, and then we'll see you here on the backer board. I got all the little trim pieces and that all nailed on. I've got the this front fascia piece all the way down done. I've got that corner piece there done. It's not nailed on, of course, it's just setting up there, as well as the back splash or back board, whatever you want to call it, all set in place. I did decide to notch the cut there, and I'm just going to put some filler in there to make up the difference, and it should all be okay. If I really wanted to, I probably could round that top edge of that desktop there, just to give it more of an aesthetic pleasing type of look. And I could do the same if I wanted to on that corner there too, give it a bit of a round, just to, you know. But you know, we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe I'll break out the old Dremel or whatever and see how big of a mess I can make. But guys, like I said, the old air compressor is still fired up here. Gonna fire a few nails in her and secure it to the old wall. So here we go. Okay guys, so there we go. Got all the nails and that put all the way along the backboard here. Like I said there earlier, everything all nailed on and all that. So of course now I'm going to give her a little bit of sand in a couple of the key areas there. And then of course give her a dose of the old wood filler here. And then once that is dry, we can give the wood filler a sand. And then I guess pretty much it's the finishing stages here. And then it's paint, right? So basically guys, I'll do all the filling myself, because you've kind of seen the wood filler when we did the holes in the desktop for the bolts. And I guess we'll see back when it's time to sand all the little spots. Well, hello YouTube, here we are. All the wood filler and that has dried now. So of course we can give her a bit of a sand to see how she looks. Some areas may need a second fill, and other areas might be just good to go. So of course we'll give her a little bit of a sand here in a couple of spots. Well guys, here we go. As you can see here, all the sanding is now done. All the filler is done, all the fabricating is now done, and basically the next step here is to paint. But before I can do that, I got to do me a massive cleanup here. You know, pretty much it's the end of fabricating now, so I don't need any of my tools anymore. You know, the drills, the saws, the cutters, the hammers, the tapers, you know, all that can go back out into storage, and we'll give her a great big massive cleanup, sweeping up the floors, getting rid of all the cuttings, the dustings and all that. wipe down the old desktop, and then we're ready for paint. So I guess you could say, as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.